I'm going to be honest. I was not expecting them to put up a fair fight. Hawks lose 3-4 in overtime against the Minnesota Wild. Who saw this coming? Because considering how the Hawks played at home against this team the day prior, no one expected them to even play remotely good in this game. I'm pretty sure if you expected them to play good in this game, I don't know what game you watched at home. I don't know how they pulled a point out of their butt in this game. This is accented by the fact that it's the second half of back-to-back, and Fleury started the front half. Because he got killed 5-1, Fleury can't play 2 nights in a row, so we play Kevin Lankinen. He has not looked very good this season. Oh boy. The Hawks get some good fortune about 10 minutes into the game as Henrik Borgstrom gets a turnover off of Matt Dumba, puts a shot, and the save is made by Kakinen, who started in the previous game and starts again. I don't know why, but that's what happened. Kakinen makes the save, and then Gustafsson, at the point, pretty much just throws it on net, and Henrik Borgstrom tips it, and it goes in the net. So the Hawks have been scoring just 1 goal the entire game against the Wild. Last time, they score first. And by the way, that 1 goal didn't come until it was 5-0. But maybe that's the reason why the Hawks didn't get absolutely blown out of the water again, because Kakinen played the previous night and had to play again. So fast forward to about 3 minutes to go in the period. Hawks are on the power play, and they're just kind of going with the passing game. Standard passing, just DeBrincat, Jones, Kane, Hagel, and Strome out. They're passing them around. No lane open, really. And Jones gives it to Kane, who then just gives it up to the front for Strome, who then gets a nice pass to Seth Jones, who then no-looks a perfect pass to the stick of Alex DeBrincat. It is patented in the same spot as he always is on power plays. And you know what he does. He snipes it past Kakinen. It's 2-0. And this was a no-look pass from Seth Jones that, I mean, if you look at the play, he fooled the entire Wild defense, and DeBrincat's got a wide-open net, and he doesn't miss those. Doesn't. So with under a minute to go in the first period, Taves has a shot blocked and saved by Kakinen. But Gustafsson's going to trip Kevin Fiala, go to the box for 2 minutes, and that's going to put the Wild in the power play. Right off the draw, Jared Spurgeon takes it at the blue line, throws it on, it's blocked by Murphy, and then Zuccarello shoots. That's saved by Lankinen. And then Joel Eriksson Ek, that's how you say his name, puts it in the net. And the Wild are within 1 already. It's like, how do you allow, basically 3 shots in the span of like 3 seconds? Of course it's going to go in. Yeah, 1 was blocked, was saved, and then, you had the wide open net. So it's like, what can you ask? Second period, it's 2-1 Hawks going into the second. Despite there being no goals in the second period, it was pretty entertaining, pretty even throughout, and highlighted by a really nice save by Kevin Lankinen after Kirill Kaprizov finds Matt Zuccarello in the slot to shoot it. And, Lankinen comes up with a big save there and keeps the Hawks in front going into the third. So halfway through the third period, the Hawks are on the penalty kill. While in the power play, about halfway through said power play, Matt Zuccarello is just looking for a pass. Can't find anyone, and here comes the streaking Kirill Kaprizov open, and Kirill Kaprizov is just fantastic. Gonna bury it, of course he will, and so Kaprizov scores and ties the game. And I see Kirby Dach on this play, and I have no idea what he's doing, because this should be a guy covering Kaprizov at all times. But Dach seems to try and be like a third man covering 2 guys. It just makes no sense, and he realizes Kaprizov is wide open too late. Reaches his stick out, but it's not going to do anything. And Murphy covering Eriksson in front of the net, it somehow finds a way past both Murphy and Lankinen into the net, and only a few players can put it in, and Kaprizov is one of those players. 2-2. So about a minute after Kaprizov scores to tie the game, it's the fourth line for the Hawks. And Carpenter just kind of throws a backhander off the boards, nothing much there, which then Entwistle comes and puts it right on net for Kakkonen. This should be a pretty routine, easy cover-up and whistle for Kakkonen, but he doesn't end up covering it up. And Henrik Borgstrom's up there to just kind of poke at it. Hopefully it goes in. Most of these don't work out, and it just it's covered up, and there's a whistle. But somehow, the puck squirts through the 5-hole of Kakkonen and crosses the line. So the Hawks go right back up. 3-2. They break the tie like a minute after Kaprizov ties the game. And that's Henrik Borgstrom's second of the game. Had just 2 goals in the year coming into this one. He's doubled his goal tally. He's got 4 on the year now. And he's given the Hawks the 3-2 lead. So the Hawks have the lead. Kakkonen is pulled. Wild pulled Kakkonen. There's about 2 minutes to go in the game. The Hawks may actually pull a 180 and just look like garbage at home and then win on the road. But the Wild say not so fast, because Greenway starts to drive in for the Wild and throws a shot on Lankinen. This should be a pretty simple stop, but it's a bit high for him. Wasn't expecting it. The puck kind of comes off his jersey and kind of rolls out. And of course, Kevin Fiala is right there to pick up a rebound. And I don't know how, but he's able to get a stick handle on it. So it goes from his forehand to his backhand. It goes right in the back of the net, and the game's tied again at 3-3. In my opinion, Kevin Fiala is one of the most underrated players in the league. Super clutch. And he's played for teams that I just don't like. He's played for Nashville. That was, his big break, and now he's on the Wild. And he's been able to come up with some big goals for these teams. Overtime goals, clutch goals, at the end of the game. Winners is Kevin Fiala. He doesn't play well for like the entire game, and then all of a sudden, when they need a goal, Kevin Fiala scores. It's just, from my experience, that's like all he scores are like those clutch goals, overtime, empty netter, like with your net empty, extra attacker. Like, I don't know. Just, if you're in that situation, you gotta have an eye out for Kevin Fiala, because he's gonna be able to put it in the back of the net. So we go to overtime, and so the game goes to overtime, and neither team can find a way to put it in the back of the net until it's about 30 seconds to go. Greenway's moving in for the Wild and circles around, and basically, just like Kaprizov hit Zuccarello in the second period that Lankinen saved, they made the adjustment because Greenway passed it to Foligno, and instead of shooting it right there, he holds onto it just for a little longer and is able to bury the Hawks and sweep this home and home. And that's just crushing. It's just upsetting, honestly. They played well tonight, honestly. They played well in this game. But they just couldn't get it done when they needed to kill those last couple of minutes. They couldn't kill it away, and even when they let up the lead, they were able to get it back. But this is how, bad teams play. They may have a lead, choke it, may get it back, but they can't finish. Can't finish. Strangely enough, the Hawks have been actually pretty good at winning games that they have go to overtime, that they let up a goal with an extra attacker. So this one actually really hurts. They would have loved these 2 points against Minnesota. So again, in this 3-game losing streak, they still get 2 points for 2 pity points, basically. And now they got to play the Avalanche. Oh my God, they got to play the Avalanche. 2 of our next 3 games are against the hottest team in the league, in the Colorado Avalanche. Just great. Just when you think that, like, okay, they didn't come up, this is a good team. Depending on who our opponent is, we could probably, ride this momentum to a win. And then you realize your next opponent is the Colorado Avalanche. And not only is it Colorado Avalanche, but it's in Denver. And see, the Avs are just riding this astronomical home, winning streak. And I don't know what it is, but ever since the Christmas break, the Avs have just literally been unbeatable. And when they have lost, they've gotten the pity point. So they're getting points in standings in every game, whether that's winning or losing. So, yeah, you can kiss this one goodbye. You can kiss this one out of the window, honestly. It's just a lost cause. This is what I've kind of come to expect when watching this Hawks team. They've had a couple of big upsets against good teams. The Washington games in Vegas, worthy of note. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd honestly be all right if they got a point, another point in overtime against the Avs. Then they get Detroit on the road, so you have your big rivalry game there from the Eastern Conference. So that's another very important one. That's also nationally televised on TNT. And then you come back home to play the Avs for the final tie of the season. And man, they could not have scheduled this better for the Hawks when it comes to playing the Avs. They played them at the beginning of the year to start, and then they play them at home early in the new year. They get the extra point. They do, go to overtime. And then they get these last two, so they'll be done playing the Avs for the rest of the year. They don't have to worry about it. And honestly, I'm glad because I actually like the Avalanche, I can cheer them on so they can hopefully go to the conference final this year at least. Yeah, these two games against Colorado are going to be rough. I'm going to just say that. But anyways, I think that is going to end it for me. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.